Hey, hope everyone's doing good. Well, Pope Francis visits Pope Benedict XVI. Just in case you hadn't seen this, we're going to cover this, but before we do, Pope Francis also criticized groups for protesting the CV just a few days prior to this. Calls for new political and economic systems. Surprised he didn't say New World Order or New Normal. Well, he goes on to talk about how he remembered also being hospitalized because he had something that was not just a regular flu. He couldn't treat it with just an aspirin. We cannot return to the false securities of the old ways, basically. And he talks about solidarity, just like Tedros and the WHO. On the solid foundation, we can build a better, different human future. Why did he have to say that? Why human future? Unbelievable. Well, why did he mention that date? I don't know. Could it be a real date for him? I doubt it, because for many reasons they use numbers. I thought of this young man who died at the age of 22. Looking at that date, this is what I came up with. And also Maximus the Confessor, who also was exiled into the modern day Georgia. They cut off his tongue and his arm for his beliefs. I don't know what the reason for that date. Maybe somebody has more insight into this, but maybe even Rise does. He has a lot of knowledge about these things. But back to the main article here. Pope Francis and elevated cardinals visit Pope Benedict XVI. I was going to show you the video, but all you hear is the flashing of the camera and everything else. So we'll just look at a few pictures. 11 cardinals, 10 wearing red, 1 wearing white. There has to be meaning to that even as well, but I don't know. Or then he just forgot his red jacket. They sang songs together, I'm sure, and all in front of many statues, but especially that one. Let's take a closer look at that. This is not Mary, I hope you do realize. She is standing on the moon. Unbelievable. And the little baby child's fingers were up. So basically, this is Nimrod and Tammuz, or Isis and Horus. It's not Mary and baby Jesus at all. No. See, there's the fingers up again in another statue. Of course, not the one that was there. Where have I seen this before? Yes, in many pictures, even Jesus in the Catholic Church. But this is not Jesus. No. As it says in the Word of God, test everything. You can see who they worship, and it's right there in the middle. It's not Jesus. It is Satan himself. Just saying. And when I thought of the moon, I thought of the Shriners. And you put it upside down, and there you have it. That's who they worship. Satan. But then in the next couple seconds of this video, you see this picture. And look in the background. Those are Roman symbols. Why are these even in the church? I'm just asking. I've barely stepped into a Catholic church, possibly once. Well, now Pope Francis raised this young man, I call everyone young man. He's the first African American cardinal. Interesting. He talks a little bit there. But I'd like you to hear someone else when he first got this position as Pope, what exactly they said of him. And this just came out on Shaking My Head too as well.
And he was remarkably at peace and did not seem to be rattled, did not seem to agonize over things, just was a man of resignation, which is a beautiful Jesuit charism. As you know, he's a Jesuit. The founder of the Jesuits, St. Ignatius Loyola, was the master in the art of discernment.
Jesuit and master in the art of discernment. If you didn't know this, most of you are aware, but what's the point? Basically, you're probably wondering, well, I'm just making the point that they do things for a reason. They absolutely do. They use numbers, they use visual signs, they use their hand signs, they use many things. And you have to understand exactly that the Catholic Church is now the Black Pope, is what I've heard. And that means that he's also the Pope and he's a Jesuit. And IHS does not stand for anything good, and it's Isis, Horus, Set. It always goes back to the Egyptian days. And it says in the Bible that everything that is done in the dark will be revealed in the end. So all I can say is trust in Him and always test everything that you see happening around you, always. And that no one can serve two masters, and that we know if He's not serving God, our God, we know exactly who He's serving, and that is Satan. Just thought I'd bring those two articles to you. God bless, take care, and I have more to come. Take care.